Hi, I just got on. It took me forever to get on, so I'm just going to load content and stuff. I'll turn on your stuff in case anybody else shows up. Hey, Stephen, I'm just going to give it about 1 more minute. My clock says 3:58 or 3:59, so just make sure that if people are signing on that they don't catch us going. So be back in 1 minute. Okay, this is weird. It's just you and me, Stephen, so that's fine. I want to get going just to make sure that we get finished in time because I've got paddling today. Such a nice day. Do you have your Cornell notes? Just make sure that you've got them with you so that you can, good stuff. Okay, we're going to be looking at adding integers with a number line instead. So we want to just go over some integer adding tips so that you can make sure that as you go, you can check your work and make sure that your answers are making sense. So it's kind of like estimating, where you can see, does this make sense, doesn't it? So the first tip is that when you're adding 2 integers, the sign of the answer will match the sign of the largest number, which makes sense, whether the largest number is a larger negative or a larger positive. So if we take that as our answer, what will the sign of the following addition questions be? So we've got -5 plus +4. So what will the answer be, positive or negative? It's going to be negative, right? Because the -5 is your largest of your integers. All right, even though it's a smaller number. All right, the next one, -7 plus +9. What will the sign be of the answer to that question? Stephen's got a lot of work today because he's the only one online, and he says positive. He's absolutely right. And the next one, +12 plus -8. That one is going to be, oh, here it comes, also positive. Excellent. Now, we'll just remind you, last week when we were working, we used, a second, I'm going to get a circle. Please give me a circle. There we go. We used circles, and we used red for positive, and we used yellow for negative. So we'll just do a reminder of that one. So I'm going to start out putting all the positive ones for the first one. So there's 1, 2, these aren't great circles, 3, 4. That's our positive. And then we change to yellow, and we can do our, here comes our negatives. -5 was our first number. So remember when we were stacking these today, we always put the positive on top. All right. So if we X out our 0 pairs, I'm going to get my pen here and just circle them. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. What are we left with for that very first one? Great stuff, Stephen. Stephen feels better that he's not alone, Annika, because he was all this time. Okay, it's going to be -1. That's what's left over is 1 yellow circle. So we know that yellow is our negative. So that's right. I'm going to clear this page off. We're just going to do these quickly so that we remember. -7 plus +9. Now, I'm going to give you access to the tools. And then, Annika, what you're going to do, if you click on the yellow, if you click on the circle, if you can do this on whatever thing you're on, it'll bring up a little thing below that says yellow and 100%. If you've got that, then what I want you to do is I want you to draw all of the second. I'm going to circle it just so you know which one I'm talking about. Just gives you guys a chance to try out the tools on board. So I want you to draw all of the negative circles using the circle tool. Stephen, I want you to click on that, and if you can see that it's yellow, I want you to click on the color, and it'll bring up a color swatch above and pick red, and then I would like you to try and put up all of the positive circles, if you can figure out how to do that. So let's see if you two can get going on that and see what you come up with. You have to be on something that's got a mouse or a trackpad. What are you on for? Oh, I'm seeing some things up here. So Stephen's got the positives. Annika, are you going to be able to try and do the negatives? Do you have something you can do that on? Good. Okay, so try and do your circles for your negatives above or below Stephen's positives and see what you come up with. So positive on top, negative on bottom. You going to try drawing, Annika? Okay, go ahead. Take the circle. So can you see the tools? Find the one that looks like a square. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. And if you click on that, there's a circle on the other side. So click it to the circle. Can you try, did you get that? There you go. Look at her go. So we've got positive 9 on top. She only drew 1 so far, but she's getting there. They don't have to be perfect, Annika. 2. Here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There she goes. Now I get to do the circling because that's my job. So I'm going to circle what's left over. We can see that 1. Actually, I'm just going to draw lines through them. How's that? 2, 3. Oh, it's not working. I'll get my mouse. See if that'll help me a little better. No, it's not going to help me today. Nothing's helping me. 4, 5, 6, 7. We scratched out our 0 pairs. So what is our answer? 2 reds, which is positive 2. Excellent job. Okay, I'm going to clear that page off, and you two can do the last one. You're making my life a lot easier. All right. So Stephen, if you want to go ahead and be positive, and if you want to be negative, Annika, then you guys can draw this equation out. So as soon as you see a positive, you can put a negative under it, Annika. You can work at the same time, I think. Let her go. It's like it's magic. It's appearing before my very eyes. She's trying to fit him in. That's awesome. Okay, Annika, how many were you supposed to do? If you click on them, you can make them disappear. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to draw the line through the 0 pairs. It's kind of awesome that you guys could do that today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many are left? And Stephen says positive 4. He's absolutely right. So remembering that's just one of the tips. When we're adding integers, we know that the sign will be, the sign of the answer will be the sign of the largest integer. So in this case, the last one, it was 12. I'm going to clear this page off, and we're going to move on. All right. Here's 2 more tips, and they're just ones to keep in your head. When adding a positive integer to any number, the number will get bigger. Because you remember, as we increase our number, and the integers that are negative, you're actually getting a smaller number. So numbers are getting smaller and smaller. Think of it as getting colder and colder, getting away from 0. So negative 10 is actually a smaller number than negative 9. All right, so when we add a positive integer to any number, the number will get bigger. So negative 10 plus positive 2 is going to be what? Negative 8. Excellent answer, Annika. You're right. So we're getting greater by 2. So we're getting closer to 0. All right. Positive 4 plus positive 3. What are we going to get as an answer to that one? Annika's fast on the draw tonight, Stephen. She says positive 7. Okay, and the next 2 are for Stephen. When adding a negative number to any negative integer to any number, the number will get smaller. So if I start at negative 4 and I add negative 7, what am I going to get? Stephen says minus 11. He's absolutely right. But I'm going to start with a positive number now. And he's so fast I didn't even get through it. I'm going to start with positive 8. I'm going to add negative 2. So I'm going to get smaller. So I'm going to get to 6. And those are just little tips to help you remember what your answer should be. So you can look and think, oh, I'm right, or oh, I'm wrong. All right. So we're going to learn today about adding with a number line. Now this is where, of course, it depends on me being able to draw things, which fat chance. Excellent. It's good that you're writing notes as you go, guys. I want to just talk about what happens when I do this, when I go up the number line. As far as a positive number, what have I done? I've gotten an increase in positive. All right? When I go this way on the number line, and it doesn't matter where I start on the number line, any way on the number line, but when I go this way, what am I doing in a positive way? I'm adding what? To go this way, I'm adding negative. All right. Now, say I was going to subtract positive. Which way do you think I would go on that number line? Left or right? I'm hoping everybody's just doing notes. If I'm going to subtract positive, I'm going to be going the same way as if I add negative. Right, I'm going to be going left. Now, this is the one that always kind of messes people up. So you have to think it through a little bit more carefully. When I subtract negative, my number actually gets bigger. Think of it as I start in the morning and it's minus 6 degrees outside. Now, as the day goes on, I subtract my negativity and I subtract minus 4. What am I left with? I'm actually left with minus 2 because I've got less negatives than I started with. So you have to kind of think about adding in reverse. All right, when we subtract negative, think of your friends coming in the morning. We talked about this before. They're grumpy, the dog bit them, they cut their finger and they cut an orange for breakfast, and they're grumpy. But as the day goes on, they get their math test back and they got 100%, and they go to PE, and everybody really likes the game they invented. So they lose some of their negative attitude and they become more positive. So try and think of that as a little analogy that will help you. When we subtract negative or add positive, our number gets bigger. When we add negative or when we subtract positive, we go the other way. Now we're going to start working with subtraction next day, which will be Thursday. And I'm not at school Thursday, but I will still have the math class on Thursday because I have an appointment that day. All right, so moving along, we're going to try a few of our own. So we're going to start at negative 7 and add negative 2. So we start close to here. Now we're going to start at 0, and we're going to move all the way down to negative 7 on the number line. So I'm going to put my number there, and I'm going to put a dot on my number line. I got to get my pen. My dot on my number line, this is where I'm at. So I started at 0, and I went to negative 7. All right? I went this way on the number line. Now I'm going to add negative 2. Which way am I going on the number line? Which way am I going? I'm still going left, says Annika. So I'm going to go down 2 more. What is my answer going to be? Negative 9, says Annika, and she's absolutely right. Now you're going to see that I'm not very accurate with my lines, but you can see that what we wanted to do, we wanted to move the first one right to here, so I went a little beyond the 7, and then we wanted to make our second one go farther. All right, so we started there, we went to this line, and then we continued along with adding our negative, and we went that way. So it doesn't matter where we start on the number line. I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to go to 1. Positive 1. There we go. Positive 1. Now I'm going to add negative 3. Which way am I going on my number line now? Which way am I going to go if I'm going to go right when I'm adding negative 3, or I'm going to go left? I'm going to go left. So I'm going to go left 3. I'm going to start from where my number left off last time. And I'm going to go this way. 1, 2, 3. So where am I going to get to if I do, it's okay, I don't know left from right half the time either. Where am I going to get to in a kind of crooked way? I'm going to get to -2. So this is how we use a number line. True story. It's super easy. This is how we use a number line to add integers. You start at 0 always, move to your first number, whether it's positive or negative, and then we move again, and we always use arrows, and that's what I forgot to do there. We always use arrows to show the direction that we went in. All right? So 0 to +1, that's this part of the equation. I'm going to point to it. I'm getting a little hand pointer, I love that thing. So this one is this line, and then plus -3, that's this line. So you can see that we just used the number line start to finish, and we ended up where our answer would be, which is -2. So let's try a few more. Oh, that's it. I don't know what I did. Messed up somehow. Okay, so which way do we go? Let's review how we move on the number line just before we go on, because I want you to be able to do this for homework. I lost a page in my PowerPoint somehow. Okay, so if I add a positive, we are going to go this way. Oops, we are going to clear that and try again. So. Add positive that way. I'm having a hard time with it. I really wish my mouse would work today, but it's just having fits. Oh, you know why? Just a second, guys. If you can bear with me for 1 second, I'm going to find my little plug-in for the... I took it out when we were doing all our inquiry projects in class, and I forgot to put it back in. It needs a little USB thing to get my mouse back, so now we'll see if it works. Oh, it's something like that. Okay. Keep hoping my mouse will come back because it's so much easier for me. Okay, so I'm going to add a positive, or I'm going to subtract a negative, and I'm going to go this way. All right? I'm also going to go this way to subtract the negative, but we won't worry about that too much this time. If I'm going to add a negative, I'm going to go this way. Nice straight line there. This way on the number line. Most crooked arrow you've ever seen. All right, good. So, going to move on. Oh, that's all right because it's 416. I would like you to do these on a number line that you draw on your Cornell notes sheet, okay? So there's 3 questions there. Just write the questions out. And then I always start at 0 like we did with the other number line. So on the first one, you're going to go +4. You're going to draw a line to show that that's how far you went with an arrow. Then you're going to go +3 more. And then you're going to add -6. You're going to go back the other way. And I want you to show a very distinct arrow for each movement you make. Second question, -5 is where you're going to start. You're going to go 0 to -5. And then you're going to add +3. And then you're going to add -4. So you're going to go back and forth on that one. And I want to see the arrows every time. And stack them. So your first arrow should be the one closest to the number line. Second arrow should be the second one up. Third arrow should be the third one up. So it keeps it organized. And your last one, +6 will be your first arrow, 0 to +6. And then you're going to add -8. You're going to go the other way with your second arrow. And then you're going to add +2 coming back the other way. All right? So as soon as you guys have got those ones copied, you feel free to sign off. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for helping me with the class. It's less boring to have people online. I appreciate Annika and Stephen being here. The rest of you, I appreciate you getting your homework done on your own. Try making the notes, the Cornell notes. Just reminders. Some of the reminders that might be on there is the reminder I gave you on the integers, on how to add to know whether your number should be positive or negative. The little tips I gave you. And then I want to see that you've actually drawn a number line or two and tried this out. I know some of you can do this in your head. That's fine. But I also want to teach you some other strategies, okay? Oops, sorry guys. That wasn't intentional. Bye, Stephen. Have a good night.